Well, the siren used to go almost every night and we got used to it. Made sure that all the blackout curtains were closed tight and not, should anyone come to the door and knock the door, you wouldn't open the door unless the light was off in the hall or the lobby or whatever they called them, and then open the door, otherwise you'd have an £80 fine. £80 that minute, yes.
Yeah.
And the night of the bombing wasn't in the daytime. The siren used to go almost every night, and we used to say, oh, those poor people in Liverpool are going to get it again. Because these bombs sometimes, they were quite low, and two came over very low. The Dorniers, they had a peculiar sound to them.
Yeah.
A sort of whirring, you know. I can't do it now, I used to be able to do it. And yes, and there was a huge thud. We heard a huge thud. And Kate said, oh, Glen Bach, neu ddim codi Elizabeth a rhaid ti'n gwely fo fi, and that's what I did. You know, I lifted this little girl, she was born on the Sunday, she was 5 days old, lifted and put her in bed with me.
Yeah.
And I had just done that, and she was under the clothes with Kate when this flipping bomb went off. I don't remember anything else. Well, not for a while. I remember, oh yes, I was standing up and I lifted Liz and put her in bed with Kate. And the next minute, this bomb was dropped right outside, and I don't know, I was blown from the front bedroom to the back bedroom, but there was no back bedroom because that had gone. And I was on the floor, and Uncle Bob, he found me, and just with one hand over this rubble, he got hold of me and put me somehow over his shoulder and carried me up to the ambulance men.
Yeah.
And they shoved me into the ambulance and off they went to Sweets or something. To the old Glenys hospital, yes. And I was rushed on a trolley. I remember flashing lights going by like this, yeah, and I must have come to now and again for a few seconds. And they were rushing me to the theatre to save my life because I'd lost so much blood. And here I am at 91. Auntie Annie, Nan we called her. She was a lovely, lovely person, but there wasn't a mark on her. Because my cousin John Llewellyn Roberts, who was a headmaster at Coitmore School in Bethesda, he must have been allowed to see her, and there wasn't a mark on her. The blast had killed her. You couldn't wish for a nicer person. And you know, what I thought was marvellous was she'd been killed by the blast, and yet her husband, my Uncle Bob, we called him Uncle Bob, or Talybont, we started calling him because of Elwyn. He was Elwyn's died.
Yeah.
So Tide, he knew she'd been killed, and yet he came and looked for me.
Yeah.
And put me over his shoulder and carried me to the ambulance men. He was a lovely man. He lived for quite a while, you know.
Yeah.
I remember him, and he always had put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Stwt I Glen Bach." I can hear him now. And I knew before anyone told me that he had died. We lived at Liam Court Drive in London, North London, and the phone went. I knew Tide wasn't very well, Tide as we called him, because Kate rang, used to ring me, this older cousin, and said, "Dwi'n siŵr bod chdi'n licio gwybod Glen Bach," she said, that tide's not very well. You know, she sort of warning me. And this particular night, we had a lovely, a hall table, you know, with the phone on. The phone went, and my husband went to answer it, and just then I felt this hand on my shoulder, and it was Kate apparently saying that Tide had died, and yet I felt as if it was still there. I can't believe it. I thought the world of him. Yes, I felt a hand on my shoulder, just as he was to. I know he always said, "Sy'n Glen Bach." Always the same. Because, you know, he was the one that, or I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. The first was dropped on the golf links, which I don't think it hurt anyone, but it did shatter a lot of the windows of the houses that were, And then, of course, the second one was the one that they dropped just outside where we were staying, And, of course, Kitty, this kind older cousin, had just given birth to this little baby, Elizabeth, and and her husband Dick was screaming, "Will you get my wife out of there?" You know, because she was still in the bedroom. I know. Yes, she was still in the bedroom, and she had to climb out in a nightie down this what do they call it? The
ladder.
Yes, ladder, and then she was taken to hospital, straight to what was it called? The old county hospital. Yes, in Davis, and Weeks. And there was the eye specialist there, Mr. Geraint Wynbarry. He was lovely. He always had a naughty twinkle in his eye. And he was ever so kind. And he thought he did what he could to this one, but the other one was he had to remove it. Not then, but some time afterwards. I had to go to London to see this Mr. Steer Wardman, and when I got there, "Sorry, bombed out, please make your way to Oxford," And of course, I don't know how many trains I had to, and I'd never been any further than Llandudno, you know. Kate couldn't come. "I'd like to come with you, Glen Bach," she said, "but I can't not leave Elizabeth." Tommy Hanley was on at the County Theatre. You have to wait 25 years before they tell you why there was a huge thud on the Tommy Hanley programme.
Ah, right.
Yes, you're not allowed, apparently, to say anything for 25 years. And then they explained one night that the thud that was heard from when Tommy Hanley was at the County Theatre in Bangor was this second bomb that was dropped. And that was it. It came out a huge thud on this programme with Tommy Hanley. Oh, he was funny, you know. He used to make people laugh, you know, and everything was going haywire. He used to make us all laugh, you know, especially at wartime when things was very bad, you know. And he was on at the County Theatre. And his wife, the siren went, and he said, his chauffeur said, "Tom," he said, "my wife's going to be scared to death," he said. "The siren's gone." "Never mind, lad," and he patted him on the shoulder. "You go home," and and be with her, you know.
Yeah.
And of course he was almost up to the top of our hill where she was staying, and he was killed.